Okay, so the descending is what is going to be pretty different, and at least for me, probably for a lot of other people, pretty difficult. Now, before we were working on ascending, so that would be and another good way to practice that, expanding on what we went before, is rather than do 5 per line, you can actually go immediately to the next line, but strum both. So like a dyad almost. You would do adjacent strings and see if anything comes from that. So all is good. But now descending is a little bit more difficult, because with ascending you can just stack another finger on top of the previous one and it will mute out all the previous sounds, so it doesn't really matter. But descending will really make sure that things are being done accurately and in sync. So with descending, the movements you need to do are strum, remove the finger that just played and move it to the adjacent string to rest on it, not press on it, but rest on it. Activate that finger below and strum at the same time. So you have 1, 2, 3 that all need to happen essentially at once. So you have and that's the thing that can be difficult, is kind of mixing up your fingers a little bit, is getting the finger that you just played to move to the adjacent string. That's one thing that takes a little bit of practice. Another important part is, again, you don't want to slam that finger down. It shouldn't be able to actually play a note if hit. You're just resting on it. Same as we were doing before with the finger that was done when we were ascending. You want to do the same kind of thing when you move it, but then at the same time, that finger that's now resting right below, it's your ring finger, finger that was resting right below the previous note, needs to be engaged. So you can do a same kind of dyad, hitting adjacent strings to test that. We got pinky, so pinky, ring, pinky, ring. You can even start that with an upstroke if you want, so that it's easier to come back down on both strings. So pinky, index, pinky, index, or sorry, not index, ring. Pinky, ring. Pinky is resting. Pinky, ring. Pinky, ring. Pinky, ring. Then you want to do the same thing. Ring, index, ring, index. And with that, it should help once you get past the first finger resting, because then they do stack on top of each other. So if this first guy is resting, the rest of the fingers should all be good. But just kind of going through a circuit of that, you have these guys relax, this guy down, play, move, and so you can kind of go back and forth between these two strings to really get quicker turnaround. So you're not going to go all the way up before you turn around. You can just go between two strings. So and when you get from one finger being left, moving to the next string, that's finally when the pinky does apply pressure. you can work on that and go through until it feels really comfortable. Then you can start moving across multiple strings. So rather than just staying in that 2-string block, you can go across the 6 or 7, 8, whatever you want. And once that's done, you can start increasing the speed little by little.